What's going on, guys? It's Raz. We're back. Sunday night. Footy's done. Sports are done. I think there's Formula One on if you want to stay up and watch it. But whilst the EPL season's not on, I'm going to take my sleep when I can get it, mate. But we're here and we're going to talk about EPL Supercoach, the forwards. I've grabbed the top 10 and I just want to quickly explain something to some people. I've noticed online a couple of people have mentioned, or I've had one or two messages saying, what's this, what's that? So I'm going to explain expected goals versus goals. I've thrown him into a little bit of a statistic bin, and it's thrown me this back out. So, as I said, I grabbed the top 10 and I grabbed a couple other players, threw them in, and we've got our little axis there, expected goals at the bottom, goals on the side, and we've got McNeil down here, 4 goals, expected goals 1.2, Darwin, as it goes on. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you've got all this, and you got Isak so high up here, and you got Haaland there, and then you got him, the freak himself, the anomaly. So, Salah, 25 expected goals, 29 goals. That line you see that goes straight across the middle, that's essentially what you want to be above. You want to be on it or above. If you're on it, you're pretty much what you're expected. If you're above it, you're exceeding expectation. If you're below it, you're essentially underperforming, in my eyes, anyways. If you're a striker, you're not scoring goals, you're not performing. That is the one thing you get paid to do. So I know Supercoach, there's a lot of other things that are involved in scoring, but when we're talking about attackers, scoring's still going to be the most important thing for them to do. You got aerial duels and whatnot, but you want to take on the players that are the most clinical players that you can possibly pick, right? It doesn't get more clinical than that, in my opinion. But we've got Haaland just under, but it's just under. And he had a lot of shots, and I went into I can do shots in a second actually, but you can take all this information with the expected goals. Someone like Embuemo was heavily over that line, and so was Wood. Wood was so prolific last season, and I don't think he will be heading into next season. Watkins is someone that I like seeing that he's there. I know he was in a lot of positions, but he also had a lot of problems with John Duran, and then to the back end of the season, they were playing Champions League, and he was getting rested a lot. So, 16 goals for him is actually a decent season. And someone, once you look at shots, he's someone that I think that I might want to be invested in. Luis Diaz, Mateta, Evan Nilsson, Nicholas Jackson, Nunes is down here, as I expected as a Liverpool fan. João Pedro's just above. Semenyo just above. Cunha is pretty efficient. You've got him 8.5 goals essentially expected. He exceeded it with 15. Now, I just want to show shots. Where are his shots? I've seen it. Now here. Shots. A lot of these ones who are closer to that line, that essentially tells me a lot of shots are outside the box or from distance that are on an angle that is more difficult because expected goals takes into consideration how difficult the angle is and the defenders in the way and all that stuff. That's what it takes into consideration. That's where you get that number. I know, for example, someone like Semenyo, I had him in my FPL team last season. He started off the season hot, but he had 126 shots and 11 goals. Start of the season, he was on the right side. He'd cut in. The guy would shoot from 30 yards away. He'd shoot from well outside the box. I'm pretty sure he had the most shots from outside the box last season. So you look at that as opposed to the expected goals, where I think, if I can remember, he was just under. A lot of his shots were hitting hopes, essentially, because they take that into consideration with expected goals. So you're getting like a 0.02 or something from that. So it doesn't weigh as heavy on the stats essentially when it's such a non-expected goal essentially. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. Bruno Fernandes, I think he's only going to get better. I think he had to force a lot of things last season with that horrible team he was in. With this guy, Mr. Embuemo, and this guy, Mr. Cunha, I don't think he's going to have a worse season. He's involved in all the crosses. He's involved in free kicks, corners. I mean crosses as in like in open play. I think the guy had the most chances created uh, in the Premier League last season for a majority of it, or I think he even eclipsed like Trent Alexander-Arnold for most crosses into the box last season. So that's after looking at this stuff, he's one person that, you know, I've kind of got my eye on now. I think he will do well. Someone like Kudus, who's in my team now, it tells me that he's not as efficient as I thought. Where you look at expected goals again, where he was underneath as well. So 6 expected goals, 5 goals, 6.5, 6.6, sorry, expected goals, and he's underneath there. So it's it's up to your own belief of the player to essentially get the points for you. You want to be over that line. You don't want to be looking under and going, well, unlucky. Nah. When you go on expected goals, if you're high, you're expecting the bloody bastard to score a goal, guys. So anyone there above, I'm looking at. Anyone on or above, I would want to be invested in. Palmer, yeah, it's Palmer. Anyone here, Solankis, the Sars, the Ezes, the Welbecks, the Matawakis, the Waitara, Django, um, Calvert-Lewin, Nketiah, Tavernier, Archer. Like, I know you're probably not looking at these people, but don't want to take them. That's poor. That's poor. But anyways, I hope that explains it a little better. That's just shots on target quickly, and you can see those same players are underneath, and that's something that's consistent through those three: shots on target, expected goals, and shots. It's not so much the keeper making a fantastic save. It's kind of just the hidden hope, essentially. It's not all of them, not all those chances with the shots are hidden hopes. But as I said, I know watching a player like Semenyo, I know what they look like, and it's not encouraging. But anyways, I thought that's just a quick little thing. Get used to understand that. Just for forwards, I'm going to go through midfielders, defenders, whatever it is, and do whatever it needs to take to explain little things to everyone because I've realized little information helps everyone because I'm getting messages and I understand not everyone is the biggest EPL fan. So if something like this, a little short video, can help you understand what is what in football, then I will happily help. So, anyways, I'll try and speak to you during the week, and we'll get the midfielders up next. It won't be just goals; it'll be, all the crosses and all the other stuff that's involved with Supercoach. We're not playing Fantasy Premier League for this YouTube page. We're focusing on Supercoach, and that's what we're going to look at. Everything that helps towards Supercoach scoring. So, I'll see you during the week sometime, and figure out what's next. See ya.